All right. Well, hey, everybody, welcome back. Let's see, what is it? It's July 22nd. We're
Yes.
definitely past the midpoint of the year. Okay, so um, as you know, this call is being repurposed. I'm not even sure if it's still called Aligning with Success, but I guess it is because it's really all about aligning with the strategies of success. So the theme is the same, only we're going to be a little bit more specific about how we go about things. So we're still in a preliminary stage before we switch this call to what this call will really be, which we're referring to it in our document as the strategy and orientation session. So let me just bring up this document, give you a bit of a background. But even before I do that, you know what? Let's just acknowledge the Master Day that we just had. And I'd like to know, yeah, it was really well done. And I'm more specifically curious about what your takeaway is from it. Anyone want to jump in?
Well, I was saying to Dave, Mike, that my new Silver Joan was on that call, and she said she only had an hour because she had appointments at 10 and 11. And I'm so glad that Richard Blissbrook was on first. She was so inspired. She canceled all her other appointments. And at the end of it, she signed up for the convention in California, got her airline ticket, her hotel room, her boss ticket, everything. So that was a great takeaway, obviously.
Well, fantastic. Okay, so actually, interestingly enough, these events, these major events, have been traditionally and in the theme of network marketing, which we refer to the event schedule as the rhythm of the business. Big events lead to big decisions. And big decisions are, I'm going to stop the rest of my day agenda, plug into this, book airline tickets, plan to be somewhere. Those are decisions. Those are big decisions that can completely change the trajectory of somebody's business and their personal life. So the event, Master Day, was a success for your business, Maggie, in that it definitely revealed a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
Any other takeaways?
Hi, Mike. I just thought Richard Bliss Brook was it was a great thing that Nikan had him on,
Yeah.
and he brought it down to the very, very simple. If you can consistently speak to somebody new, one person anyway, every day, and he made that comparison between doing it consistently for 30 days versus every other day, and the compounding effect. I thought it was great, but I just thought it was great that Nikan featured him, that there's some kind of a connection going on. Well, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, but I really like that.
I believe that Luis is working with Richard in behind the scenes in the capacity of maybe mentoring, coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Richard is most certainly a friend of Nikan and a big advocate for companies like Nikan that are legacy companies. So it's always great to have someone who has credibility and authority in our industry to give Nikan a thumbs up. And in this case, 2 thumbs up. So cool. Thank you for that. Barbara, you have your hand up.
I do. I was interested in hearing the back story to John Kalinch. I hadn't heard that before, that he'd been a world-renowned speaker.
Trainer.
And then when he was diagnosed with his illness, he realized that if he wasn't speaking, he wasn't getting paid, and he needed to set up a legacy for his family. And out of all the network marketing companies he'd been exposed to, he chose Nikan to be the vehicle for him to leave a legacy for his family. So, I mean, many of us have John Kalinch books, but Richard has always, always, always been authentic, calls it like it is. There's no gilding the lily. He's a straight shooter. And he always emphasizes the importance of telling your story.
Yeah. That was in fact his point, right? Tell your story at least to one person a day.
Exactly, and I was interested in seeing why his theme for the day was why Nikken, why now, why you? And he obviously has a very deep respect for our company, and that just that lends to the integrity and the authenticity when we share his presentation to people that we're prospecting, because he's known all over the world himself
I hope we get
as
that
a
video.
highly educated person in the network marketing business model,
Hmm.
and that you can believe what he says.
Well, I'll
He's
tell you,
authentic.
if we get this video, if we get that segment of the video on YouTube, then I would recommend everyone, the second we get it, as an isolated video, we all post it to all of our social media platforms. We want to definitely let that story out of the bag. Paula.
I've always known about the penny doubled, but what really struck me is the penny doubled every other day after a month was only $163.80.
Thanks for that number again, 163.
$80. That totally blew me away.
Yeah. From 5.2 million?
Yeah,
For
it's
30
around
days?
it's around 5 million, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 5.2 million in 30 days. But if you just do it every other day, $163. I mean, that is
Yeah.
compounding the eighth wonder of the world. And this, it's true about this business for sure. Delayed action of any kind in this business is slowing down the effect of compounding or minimizing the effect of compounding, which is why one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, why we believe a launch and a launch platform and a launch profile needs to be reinstitutionalized here so that it becomes the norm again, where somebody doesn't just meander into Nikken or tiptoe through the tulips in Nikken, but they actually put the pedal to the metal with a blast and an objective in their first 30, 60, 90 days with outcomes that are expected. And we have to be equally participatory in that expectation. One of the things that I always I like about what I've heard in coaching is people say the past doesn't equal the future.
Okay.
So the past doesn't equal the future. The question is then, what is the future?
Thank
What do
you.
we want it to be? That's Paul, I'm going to mute you there. Just okay. Barbie, you have your hand again?
I do. The one comment that he made was about Nikken. The one thing that stood out in Nikken that no other company had was our silver training, which of course is now Humans Being More training. And he called the We Accelerate program absolute brilliance. He'd never seen anything like it, and credited Luis with creating absolute brilliance for people coming into the business. So, and the compound effect is explained fully in his Mach 2 book.
Cool. So if you haven't got this,
the penny.
get it.
Yeah, the penny doubled.
Got it. I'm noting, by the way, so far the comments have been, and I'm glad to hear that they have been, because that's what I was listening for, comments about the business model. Not about the products. As good as the products are, none of the comments are about that. They're about the business model. K Lynch, HBM, the fact that Nikken is one of the top four companies in terms of longevity. Never too late to launch or relaunch. These are notes I got from Leo's notes. That We Accelerate being such a highlight. And of course, when they earn money, they stay in. Tell your story, why you joined Nikken. He mentioned that that's your story, why you joined Nikken. tell that story one time a day. And then, of course, he framed it as why Nikan, why now, why you, which I believe is an opportunity meeting, and therefore ought to be how we address an opportunity meeting going forward. Any other comments before we switch gears?
Just that Maggie and Leo were recognized again, and that was very good to hear.
Yeah, terrific. Okay, so Dave and I have been plodding away as we are trying to refine our understanding and approach to this next phase of growth. One of the things that we talked about last week, we alluded to, was the need for a plug and play approach, something that was duplicatable, easier for people to follow, and they can just simply plug into and start to bring people through a process of discovery. And the more consistent it is, obviously the day, the tell your story one time a day, then what? When you find somebody interested, then what? If we can eliminate the question mark, the confusion, and streamline the process of what is the then what, the 3 steps that someone needs to learn about, why, how, and what, if we can get people through those 3 conversations effectively in a streamlined way, then we can start people off with the knowledge and the understanding that they want to get their warm market list through that process really, really quickly in their first 30 days. And that's what everybody then turns to as the platform. And Dave, jump in anytime here. I'm going to flash on the screen what we sort of were starting to massage today.
Well, I think that I'd like to jump in right here with this meeting. And one of the things that we discussed is, again, we looked at workable situations as they were done, and then how do we apply that workable situation to today, and what's missing, what's not being involved. And back when we were building, I went over a series of numbers on the call, listing out how many silvers we made each year from the time we started all the way up till the peak in 1999, where in that year we produced 5,600 silvers. At the beginning, there were 0. So we went from 0 to 5,600, and 5,600 times at least 50,000 in points, because not everybody went silver in a month. Some took 7, 8, 9, 10 months to get to silver. So it was an accumulated volume. But what we did was we had a strategy call with those that wanted to play on a monthly basis. So we played it's a monthly game. So every month we played the game. That's the game. The game is go silver, go gold, go platinum, go diamond. And then so from the standpoint of support, the idea was, well, okay, so let's say Maggie says, okay, I want to, let's say she's not a diamond, she's a silver, and so I want to go gold. So then, okay, so now we look at, well, what do you need to do to get to gold? And then the team looks at what she needs to do to go to gold. And then how do we support that idea of her going to gold? Became the strategy meeting. Now, what happened was, and this was absolutely fascinating, we'd get on these calls and it was Monday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, who's going silver? Well, at first it would be, well, I'm going silver. And then, well, I'm going to go silver. And then before you know it, we'd have 100 people going silver that month and 200 people going silver, because they declared that they wanted to go, which was then like, I'm quitting smoking, I'm quitting drinking, I'm quitting whatever the habit was, to change into a new habit. And we got agreement from everybody that was on. So network marketing is the loneliest business in the world if you don't team up with your fellow, compatriots. And it's like you're sitting home by yourself, and I mean, the world can fall apart right in front of you. But if you're connected to the group and you have allies and you have other people to talk to, and that's how this game works, then it works. So what we uncovered was, number one, we want a goal. So the goal we want to play, we want to get everybody on board with, we want to go from 50 million to $100 million in the next 12 months. We want to double. That's a huge amount. If we hit 100 million, then 200 is right behind it. So we can grow to 200 million. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means people are joining the business and that's the way it works. But we need the infrastructure and the support to help everybody. And that's what Monday night is. Can I carry forward to Tuesday?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and bring this up on the screen while you're talking.
Okay. So then Tuesday, we want to create what we envisioned or what we had in the past was the opportunity meeting. So rather than everybody else trying to reinvent the wheel, we want to have a consistent Tuesday. This is what we're doing. And, you know, if Michael and I have to do that on a regular basis, then Michael and I are willing to do that on a regular basis. And it's every week, it's standard. You know, you can get credibility, you get good stories, you get good, you know, whatever. And that's that's Tuesday night. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is Wednesday night. And Master Day was both Michael and I called each other after and said, okay, Randy's the gal. One of the things that we observed that was missing, and this was prior to this, and I wrote to Nikan and I wrote to Luis and I've got it in writing, was we don't have any product training. And every company that I've ever worked for in my entire life who had a product always provided the features, the benefits, the training, the video, what happens, what doesn't happen, all the good, bad, and stuff. And for whatever reason, it's been relegated to the distributor force to come up with all this information, yet it's not our product. So we said, well, we need to have a distributor training. Why? Well, because the distributor needs to know how to communicate. And if we go back to the beginning, what we had this incredibly fantastic, unique product that was motivating the reason to do this as a business because the product was so fantastic. But if you don't know how to talk about the product, it's hard to talk about the opportunity. So we call Randy today. I don't know if Randy's on the call today, but Randy would be more than delighted, happy, excited, ecstatic to be the product trainer on Wednesday nights and to do one product a week, so that we can have the product, then we get the testimony, then we create the video, then we create a library of support for, you know, you get a new distributor, oh, just plug and play. Go
Okay.
here, this is what you're going to get. Somebody?
I was
Okay.
gonna make a comment. There are 90 products in our product line. My God, that's, you know, that's something, and as an executive, I could probably benefit.
I don't know what that was, but anyway.
He said
Anyway,
that there's so many products on the product line as an executive, that would be something he would definitely benefit from.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, got it. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, thank you. And then Thursday night's player night. In other words, okay, so Monday you said you wanted to go silver, you got a new person, they've come to the picnic. We want to entertain them on Thursday night of how to build the business properly. And then that's the lineup. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can plug and play. We want to streamline all of the other calls so that we're not tipping on everybody's toes and we're focused. And I sent a statistic to Ollie. I've been monitoring statistics. There's absolutely no question that new distributors is directly proportional to volume and income. It's been a given since day one. And so that's what we need to produce. So what we want to create with this group is simply the idea of standardness, the idea of 100% support so that you don't have to worry about. All you need to do is talk to your one person a day and plug them into the system. We want to have a website that you can send people to that directs them on the calendar of events. Okay, Monday night, Friday night, Tuesday night, wellness preview, Thursday night, Wednesday night, product training, Thursday night, you know, how to build the business. Then we want to plug in the rhythm of the business with the monthlies and the quarterlies and the annual, like we've done in the past, but to support the activities of this group. And if we do that, then I think we're going to knock the socks off the company. We're going to blow the field all over the place, and we're going to go from 50 to $100 million in the next 12 months. It's all fundamental. Anyway, that's where we've got so far.
Any questions?
Just a comment, Mike, Sherry Danzig's Success Stories on Monday night has morphed to that model that you're talking about. We do an overview of a particular product, explaining it, et cetera, and then testimonials. So there may be some collaboration there with Randy on moving forward.
In fact, we just anticipated that. So we want to
I
let
put
it
that bug in Sherry's, because Sherry's in my downlight. I suggested that to Sherry prior to all of this taking place. So I think we'll be able to merge the two.
Yeah, good.
I
Because
talked to
it really
Sherry
is
today.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul? Paula, you've got your hand. Oh, I guess you're not. Okay. Oh, Randy's here. All right, Randy, your ears must have been burning. We were just sharing about the conversation you had with Dave today regarding the Wednesday event schedule, the Wednesday night, what we're referring to as brand night, where people are going to get an opportunity to hear about the beautiful array of products that Nikken has, the various brands, and specifically center in on one category in any particular night. Do you want to just jump in and share your thoughts about
Just
it?
before you do, Randy, I just want to say for everybody, what Randy brings to the table is a unique professional perspective of years of research. She's a published author, she's an authority, and she provides that credibility for almost at a third party positioning. It would be great advertising term. We could position her so well with her knowledge base that we could eliminate all the needs for compliance problems or challenges about what to say or not to say. And I think that's the key to this, rather than a distributor who gets caught up trying to explain, well, this is what the product does and so on and so forth. And they're a distributor, and then they bring on their own customers that are giving that kind of testimony. So I think this is a perfect, she just hit a home run on Saturday. So anyway, Randy.
Yeah,
please.
sorry, I want to jump in too. So first time I actually got to see Randy live in action was when I went into her hometown and did an event with her and her team. And I was totally blown away by her understanding, knowledge, background, even her story, most impressively, the story that she has to share about energy and the impact of things like EMFs and her background in fighting a legal battle there here in Canada on behalf of the Aboriginals or the natives, with respect to moving hydro or high-powered electric lines further away from where they were living, their encampments, so that they didn't have the effects that were being measured and validated scientifically, which we obviously don't hear about out in the public, but exist. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to being able to present the Nikken experience as something that can help people with countering the effects of these harmful things that we're all surrounded by. So Randy, over to you.
Yes, thank you. I was excited to get Dave's call, and I've longed for quite a while to be appreciated for all I can contribute to Nikken. I have not been the greatest business and team builder, but my knowledge is very deep about why Nikken is the place to plug in to get lifelong health. And I'm excited about the idea of sharing the nutritionals, and I think contextualizing them and having people understand about how they relate to total wellness is critical. And why we need supplements is not just about, the RDAs or the recommendations. It's about optimizing health, and it all works together. I just think it's magnificent what Nikken has done, and I love the idea of focusing on exactly how one of our supplements fits into the picture of total health. And with the degenerative diseases costing trillions of dollars a year, and everybody aging and thinking that they have to get on all these medications, which are impoverishing us all. It's not necessary, and it's really important to say that we need the nutritionals that Nikken offers. And like I said, I was blown away by the extraordinary quality of what Nikken does, and keeps it at a reasonable price, which is incredibly impressive. And it all fits together with the magnetics and the water and the air and the energy and the grounding. Yeah, I'm honored to be able to do this, and I have to say I'm just excited to finally have my contribution appreciated, because I have not been, the greatest platinum or diamond ever, but I have been supporting people all the time with ABCs forever, 27 years, I guess it is. I love this idea of contributing to this brand information.
That's awesome. Wow, fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled that you're thrilled about it as well. So, because that makes a huge difference. The energy that you bring to the representation, it's going to be probably the most attended of all the calls. We suspect.
Really? Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it serves as not only a base of knowledge and education for people to learn about the products, and for us to create a library of this information, but to validate the experience that they're having as they're being introduced to this concept. At some point in time, each and every one of us had that experience, that thing that knocked us on the head and said, wow, I really need to move forward on this. So we suspect that this call will provide the validation that we all want, and will be more importantly, it's the easiest thing to be able to point to somebody or point to something and say, just listen to this or just watch this. That's the whole point of a duplicatable system, is that you and I don't have to become the experts. We can just simply bring the experts to them, and that's the whole ABC concept, right? So huge component of this weekly rhythm. Any other, Paul, you have your hand up?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I like this plug and play, but I like meet and test also. And we now have a big screen TV where everything can be just projected in our conference room, and also cameras and mics so that there can be interaction. So it sounds like no matter what day somebody says, yes, I'd like to come over and see things, we can set a time and they come and we do some individual work with them. But then there's this whole, network that we can instantly connect them to, so that they know, oh God, and this has happened. I mean, the whole system is so easy for them to understand. And so we need to have people in our homes also on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis.
Most certainly. And hence, having content that you can tap into becomes also very important. So if you've got your computer and your TV connected, and you can jump on one of these Zoom events, then you're doing what we refer to as a hybrid event, which is exactly what we hope happens as we start to roll out the live events again, that this becomes the A in the hybrid event.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other comments?
What Paul's saying, like on a Tuesday, I think what Mike and I can really add to the Tuesday night is the long-term potential of being involved with this business, creating a legacy, creating an empire, sticking with it, those kind of issues, which some people have never got to, and then feel a little bit challenged with how do you communicate that with others. We want to take that out of the realm of it being a problem for you and an easy thing for us to do. So this whole concept and I'm going to segue, if I can, Michael, back to a question that Barb asked about John K. Lynch. And I was there when John K. Lynch came in, and I was there when the group took on the idea of helping John K. Lynch because of his problem to support his growth, looking at it as a double-edged sword. One is he brought credibility. Two, we had a successful group, and let's marry the two together and then both flourish and prosper as a result of it, which we did. And there were perks that he got for being involved, et cetera, et cetera. And he chose Nikken because of that support, not only for himself, but for his family. Because the big part of his decision was that his wife and family would be taken care of as a result of joining a successful organization. And we provided that in the sense of that's what we put as the backdrop. Okay, you come with us, this is what you're going to get. And that's what we want to do here is you come, you bring people to picnic. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get support. You're going to get the truth. You're going to get zingers. You're going to get excitement. You're going to get enthusiasm. You're going to get direction. You're going to get an objective and planning and all of those kind of things. So that, because the key to, as John said, is it's you telling your story that makes this work. And that's it. It's your enthusiasm, your excitement. You know, if the thing's blowing and going, it's easy to get people involved. It's when it's not blowing and going that's a little bit more challenging. Anyway, got excited about that.
Yeah. What do you say? How many of you are excited about this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the difference. It's all the difference in trying to row this boat by yourself and being in a boat with a bunch of people rowing in the same direction at the same time. I mean, it's all the difference in the world. So huge. Okay, good. Well, we wanted to lay that on you first and foremost as we refine this. We don't have a launch date yet, but it's imminent and it's soon. We don't want to really wait until everything's perfected. We want to get the ball rolling and get this thing up and running. We do have some coordinating with Nikken to do because of some calendar issues, massage some presentations, but you get the general idea. Let me recap again. What is the general idea? The general idea is we can move people through a process. We know that in this business, as was shared by Richard on the weekend, that there's questions that have to be answered. Why Nikken? Why now? Why you? And that's kind of what this is really about. That partnering process is why would somebody consider getting involved? What's going on in their life that is identified as a need? How can Nikken be a vehicle, a means to an end? And what does it take to succeed? That's the questions that we intend to answer when you bring them to this platform. Yes, it looks like it's out of order, but it isn't. The strategy night, the what, serves two purposes. It's the beginning and the end of the conversation, of the what conversation. So the why is really all about them, and if they can identify the need for Nikken. The how is the business model, what it can do to deliver the results, and how they can. I think I might even actually have some of these a little bit adjust. Don't worry about it. I'll get this page right, but you get the idea that as you walk through this process, and dab smack in the middle of all this is the validation night. So the brand night, which is going to feature the products and the benefits, and that's the glue that holds this all together. We know that that's what makes Nikken so unique in the marketplace, as well as the fact that we have these outstanding and unique products that are highly competitive and highly efficacious. Down below, you see the support rhythm. There is some things that we're looking at. There's a technology that we're interested in. We're going to get more information about where we may be able to plug somebody in with a simple text. They can just simply text a message, and then bang, we receive that. They're now part of the communication, and they're going to be updated with all of this information at their fingertips. So we're definitely going to automation in the simplest way. Something that everybody has is text messaging. Not everybody has Telegram. Not everybody has WhatsApp, but messages everybody has. Facebook, pretty much everybody has. So we're looking at Facebook as a platform for hosting the community, there's the NICAN Facebook for NICAN consultants. There needs to be a leadership or a field leadership Facebook. And I mean, we have one, but we're going to repurpose it. And then we found out that there's an interesting and clever way for testimonials to be shared. And that is to have a private Facebook group, members only. And as you onboard yourself and others into this platform and share testimonials, if there's someone out there that you want to have learn about NICAN or a specific story, you can hashtag them in the comments section of that story, and then they have access to it through their Facebook. So some tools that we're gathering up that will add to what we're doing so that it becomes a very simple plug and play opportunity. And that's, I think, what makes network marketing possible. Duplication generationally is possible because the education is simplified with a system. You let the system do the work, and that becomes the education itself as they plug
One
and play.
thing that, Michael, just to add to that, that in the calls that I did based on the idea of how do we attract more attention, what came to the surface was what was needed and wanted there was something like an orientation package or an information package on the marketing plan, on the players, on the company, the executives, the purpose, the story, the history, all of that sort of stuff that was in one location, either physical or on the internet, as a tool for people to talk about. And because right now we have nothing. We don't have any brochures, we don't have any documents that we can really utilize that tell the story or lay out for that. So this is another area that we're working on to put together, and I've been sent all kinds of wonderful tools, and we have an array of documents from years back. So that will be part of the puzzle as well.
There will be a presentation tomorrow night. I will be presenting as I did last week. If you like the presentation, it was a little bit more free flow. It was a little longer, but it was also a little bit more business presentation oriented, to really help people understand the value of the opportunity. Paula.
I remember when I got started, I got in my business kit a little green binder, and it had all kinds of information in it. It had a mini flip chart in it, and it had, just all kinds of stuff. And like you say, we don't have anything like that now. It might be worth, dredging that up again. I went
Definitely.
through.
It's been talked about, Paula. We've actually, there's some diamonds or some royals in Latin America that have created their own binders that they put together. This isn't a difficult sourcing thing. We'll look at sourcing how we can put this together, but right now it's more on the level of, okay, at least a PDF and at least something that it gives you the talking points. So, well, here's the team. Here's the philosophy. Here's the purpose. Here's where we're going. Here's the goal. Here's the objective. Here's the compensation plan. How about a document that was a PDF on the compensation plan with simple English?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be an awesome tool? So that's what we're thinking about, dumb it down, make it simple, but make it easy to talk about, because the way society has gone today is it's less able to communicate and understand. That's just the way it's gone. So this is important.
Thank you.
Barbara?
Thank you. This was brought up in our platinum meeting this morning, but it's something that has been talked about on a number of occasions. Not only to have it present in our personal webpage, but we need to have something that talks about the start of NICAN, the story of NICAN. Every other company that you see out there, they're all blasting about the basics of their company, what they stand for, what it's all about. And we need something for our prestigious company. because it is prestigious. It's almost been around 50 years. We're a legacy company. We need to tell that story somehow. Wes, you'll agree with me?
Yeah,
We
and
need to have it as the very first thing a person sees when they go into the NECANN website.
well, okay, so to that end, we have not yet seen the final version. We saw an early draft of what's coming. And we have not yet seen its evolution, but in fact, that is something that's coming and will
Well,
be
that's
announced.
hopeful. Thank you.
It'll be on all our replicator pages. So everybody's first page will be something of a funnel. It'll look more like a funnel where there's a story being told through that page. So
It's
that's
necessary at this
yeah.
stage in our business. We all need to be able to tell our prospects, why did we become involved with NECANN? What's the history behind us? Why do we believe so strongly in this company? And at the moment, the president who's steering the company, he's amazing. He's made so many positive changes, and I've never had so much respect for a leader as what Luis has contributed since he was made president and CEO. We've got something to be proud of, really proud of. Thanks, Mike.
I will actually encourage Luis and his staff to watch this video post-production. Paul.
Michael, can
No,
I
I
just want
just-
to quick
Sorry.
share here. This was a document that was sent to Luis. And Michael has a copy, I have a copy of it. And this came from you guys, which was what was needed and wanted. And this was the orientation package. Who is NECANN and a corporate message and a rich story history of NECANN, the first two things. And the philosophy, the 5 pillars, the goals and objectives, the causes supported, the corporate people, the names, the pictures, the positions. Now, some of this stuff is on the website, but you have to really know where it is. But for a new person, they're going to be lost as heck. And what does NECANN do, the primary objectives, and then the various departments, et cetera. So I think from the standpoint of corporate experience and training and what we can make simple is when you're communicating with somebody else, what do they want to know? They want to know what's gone down, where are we going, who's involved, how does it work, how do I involve? And then it's a process of education. Just like if you're asked Randy about mushrooms, it's not just we have 12 of the best mushrooms on the planet, but there's other things that those damn mushrooms do.
It's 14 actually, but go ahead.
Or
Sorry.
14, but there's other things that those little monkeys do to help you survive longer. That's the same thing. So you get the beginning and then you get the full story and then you get educated. So that's where we want to go.
Nancy.
I
Sorry,
had
Paul. Sorry. Paul had his hand up first.
I just wanted to say there's still a lot of tools around if you go on YouTube. The NECANN story, there's a wonderful story with Japanese music and stuff. And then Larry Prophet tells his story. You have to know where to look, but there's a lot available on YouTube if you just know where to look.
And that's one of the advantages of also having a field site is that we can collate this information all in one spot. So based on how far we want to go and where NECANN's, what NECANN has covered, what our document may cover, we may have our other access point, which is the website, which could give the NECANN overview in the way of various videos that really establish the whole overall picture. Nancy.
This is just an aside. When you mentioned immunity, for about the last 2-3 weeks, I've been meaning to call NECANN and ask them, but do you know that on the immunity jar, it lists 13 mushrooms? And I asked someone, I went, what happened to the 14? And they went, I didn't even know it said 13, but there's 13 listed. So I don't know why, but it's not 12. It
Well,
is
one of them's invisible. It's a magic mushroom. Good point. I didn't know that. Barbara.
That's why we have people like Suzanne Steele in our field that are willing to, proof and work the new website and stuff. Mike, I really am impressed with your brochure here, and I'm wondering how, or if it's even possible to put into the new packet going out to the new consultants, or maybe it's the PDF making it available. But this is really great. You said it the other day, it's a wonderful little flip chart, how to use it, that kind of thing. I know the business lock-in is the business lock-in on Thursday, then training would then be occasionally Saturdays or us on Saturday or another
the-
time?
The
Or did I
training,
miss training
no,
on that?
no, you did not miss training. So with respect to the rhythm, the training is the actual Monday. It's a strategy and orientation training / session. The idea here is it's strategy and orientation. So new people get oriented around the culture of the business building culture. And it's really important we understand that that's what's delivered on that Monday night. It's the business building culture. So it's specific to what we are proposing. An agenda to take Nikken from 50 million to 100 million, following an agenda, following a way of doing, a methodology, if you will. So the methodology becomes communicated on that Monday night. So when they're plugging in, they understand what it is they're plugging into. That's the training in terms of what, yeah.
Would that be, would they then have one more, or would there be like a rotation of the
No.
different core things that we cover? No? Yes?
No. What we see right now is, go ahead, Dave. I think this is where you're
Okay,
going.
so let's say, for example, we're rolling here. Who on the call, just with your hands up, wants to go to Diamond? Okay, so we got most of the people on this call want to go to Diamond. Now, let's create the Diamond plan for you to go to Diamond. And while we're doing that, you've got your new guys that are excited, that want to build this business, that are listening to what we're planning and what you're going to do. And you're going to raise your hand and say, well, listen, okay, I got to sponsor 3 platinums to get to Diamond, or I got to do 2 golds. And so, okay, well, what's the strategy you're going to employ with that? And then you raise your hand, and Michael pipes in with some data that he's got of what he did and I do, and so on and so forth, so that the knowledge of how to think about what to do then gets translated in the person watching or involved. Oh, that's what I got to do. Okay. And then boom, they're on to the call. Okay, I got to get 5 people on the Tuesday night call, because if I get 5 people on the Tuesday night call, the statistics say I'm going to get, $20,000 worth of production over the next 4 months. That 20,000 is going to turn into 3 platinums by the end of the year, and I'm going Diamond. There it is. Because how this business works is when you put it out there of what's going to happen, and then following up with the do stuff. And that the do stuff's really simple. Talk to one person a day. I did the other. I talked to one every other day, but anyway, that's a different story.
Okay, so just to make this point, we don't need the kind of training that we have been traditionally relying on, because we tend to become trainers instead of recruiters. We go into management mode, and managers like to teach and train, and that's what you become. So the training is on the job. The training is by working with people. And I just want to remind you, especially those of you who hit Diamond or Royal Diamond, when you were, or even Platinum, when you were in the thick of it, when you were really going, you didn't have time to put people in the classroom and train. You just had time to do ABC calls and do meetings, and that was the training. That was the on-the-job training. And so the action plan is the training, and you get better at it as you act, as you go through it, and you refine and advance your understanding of it. So this is a really ideal scenario, because we want to move away from being trainers and being a training company to being recruiters and being promoters. More specifically, promoters who recruit distributors and customers, right? Because that's essentially all we do. And then if the system is sufficient, if the system is successful in allowing that to happen, then it's just a matter of replicate, 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 or duplicate, duplicate, duplicate.
The only other thing I'm
Yeah.
gonna add, Mike, and I know we've talked about this and it's probably on the list, but is, you know, we have the travel bonus, we have the different things, but we can also make up our own game as leaders out here in the field. And my invitation is almost, yeah, I'm gonna take it back. I think everybody on this leadership team, or if they consider themselves a leader, should buy an extra ticket to the convention by the end of the month, by the end of July, so that you've got someone coming at the discounted price. We've got different things, but I will talk to Luis and us, the team, the NFL, you know, about what maybe each ticket having another person, or a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old coming in with us, so that we can get it to the masses. Because we know if anybody gets to that corporate convention, which is ways away out, but we have to plan now, they're going to catch that vision and they're going to go all the way with this. So how do we make it an incentive to earn half a ticket, most of a ticket, some of a ticket, you know, that kind of thing, to get the new people excited to come and be a part of that. So I'm putting that out as everybody chew on that for a little bit. And what's a game that's worth playing to have people come to that convention? I mean, Mike, we used to say this, you know, you said it in Team Diamond many times. How many legs you have represented here?
Yeah.
How many legs? And if you knew how many legs you had, you could almost project where you were going to be next
100%.
time.
100%.
And I don't have 6 legs coming, right? So it's like, okay, where am I and why don't I? Right? So I just want to put that to the team. So thanks.
This is a great idea. First of all, the idea of getting an extra ticket. You know, what you're doing by doing that is you're opening up the space. You're creating the probability. You're turning the possibility into a probability, which is one step closer to it being a fact. You're drawing in and attracting the circumstance or the attention to who's coming with me. So by making that step of a commitment, you're literally invoking the law of attraction and bringing that possibility to the forefront. So I do that, by the way, with things like when I attend the Eric Worre event every year, I buy extra tickets because I do that because I want to have butts in the seats, if you will. I want to have representation there. So I do that anticipating that I'm going to fill those seats, and I do. I always do. So good idea. This is a really good idea with respect to our convention, because it is the single biggest event of the year for us. And it's like a no-brainer. It should not be a question mark on anybody's mind, especially anybody who put their hand up and say, you want to go diamond. There are actions that are in alignment with somebody going diamond, and there are actions that are out of alignment with somebody going diamond. So the decision to go to the convention, the decision to get an extra ticket, those are in alignment with somebody going diamond. Not going to the convention, not in alignment. So these are the kind of strategies, these kind of thinking points that we're going to be able to work with on those strategy calls, because there are things that have to get done for the results to manifest. And we're going to eliminate the question marks. We're going to make it so that people go into action because they don't have to think about it. The thinking has been done. We have the strategy. We know how to do this. We've done this.
Well, and to underline it, it actually lets corporate know and Luis know that we're committed to having that many people there. That's the whole early bird, you know, price break. And so he's got a ballpark of how many people are coming. And, you know, we have the boss, but this is just not just, but the convention ticket. That's the invitation, you know, fill your room, get people there, you know, and I fought to have a guest event, and I know that we have a guest event on the agenda. So, you know,
so Barbara,
that's
can
important.
I ask you to get that properly, formally put together before the end of this week? Like we're running out of time. So if you can get Jeff or whoever does the promotion Ale to put something that we can blast out, we can get in circulation as a talking point,
About getting your extra tickets or the guest event?
extra ticket.
Extra ticket. Okay, sure
Yeah.
will.
So let's wrap up. Any last thoughts, Dave?
No, I think that we've got the plan is starting to go into action. There's lots to do. Just to let Randy know, I put a call. Sherry's out of town this week, so we'll coordinate with Sherry and then figure out how you guys blend together to make this work properly. And then we've got meetings with the company starting. We do every Tuesday. So with everything going on, there's lots of moving parts, but the idea is we want to do $50 million in the next 12 months.
50 million more.
More.
You know who else Randy is really good with if you need a backup is Linda Morris. She's a very good video on focusing on product. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So
She's really good, maybe with also the skincare line,
yes.
I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good, all good. Again, this is a work in progress, but what I would be doing in terms of a call to action, what I would be doing if I were you, is I would expect that this is the way it is. You should start contemplating who you're going to play with. Who do you want to share this information with? Because obviously not everybody in NECANN is on this call. So if you've got some teammates and whatnot, let them know if you're excited. Let them know what you're excited about. Because we are going to drop this soon. I'm guessing in the next couple of weeks.
Nice. Good job. Thank you.
Okay, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a great week.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Please put this on Telegram.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.